line value of the voltage as 415 volt. It is a star connected induction motor. That means the stator is connected into star, no matter whether you are talking about a squirrel cage induction motor or a slip ring induction motor. If they are saying it is a star connected induction motor, that means they are saying that the stator winding is connected into star. If they say that it is a delta connected induction motor, that means the stator winding is connected into delta. So in the given numerical, they are saying that they are having a 3-phase 415 volt star connected slip ring induction motor with stator to rotor turns ratio as 6. So if I say that the stator turns divided by rotor turns, this ratio they have given it as 6. The rotor resistance and standstill reactance per phase are 0.06 and 0.3 ohm respectively. So R2 is 0.06 ohm per phase and X2 is 0.3 ohm per phase. Find the value of rotor current per phase and the power factor at the time of starting. And further they have added, we have to neglect the stator impedance. Okay, so I hope you have found out that particular numerical from previous semester question papers. So let us try to see how can we solve this numerical. So please note down the given information and let us try to solve this numerical further. Now here we have to recall the similarity between an induction motor and a transformer. So in case of a transformer, we normally call it as the transformation ratio. In case of an induction motor, we will call it as stator to rotor turns ratio or stator to rotor ratio. However, now we have to keep in our mind how the stator is connected. Stator is connected into star fashion. So line value of the voltage VL is 415 volt and therefore the per phase stator voltage, as the stator is connected into star, so it will be 415 upon root 3. So the answer is coming out to be 239.6 volts. Now this value we have to use for our further calculation. So you may recall the equation for transformation ratio. So accordingly, so here I will modify it a little bit. So V stator upon the rotor induced EMF per phase, that is I2. So here I have taken ratio of the stator to rotor voltages. So on the right hand side it will be stator turns upon rotor turns. So if I substitute the values over here, it will be 239.6 upon E2, and this ratio they are already given in the numerical, it is 6. So this will give me the value of the rotor induced EMF per phase as 39.93 volts. So this value is important for us. If I want to solve this numerical further, I need to know how much is the value of my rotor induced EMF per phase. So I calculated it by this particular manner and it is coming out to be 39.93 volts. Let us now try to solve this numerical further to get the value of rotor current per phase and power factor. So rotor current per phase I2 is equal to, we already seen this expression for rotor current per phase as E2 upon square root of R2 square plus X2 square. So now we have to substitute the value. So it will be 39.93 divided by 0.06 square plus 0.3 square. If I solve it further, I am getting the rotor current as 130.53 amperes, and the rotor power factor cos phi 2, it is given as R2 upon square root of R2 square plus X2 square. So it is coming out approximately as 0.196. So please check whether you are getting somewhat similar values upon substituting all the values in the correct expressions. Okay, fine. So have I understood this second numerical also? I request once again to please refer your previous semester question papers to identify the correct numericals which we have solved till now. Same procedure you have to follow here onwards also. Okay, so you are getting similar answers. Okay, let us proceed further with third numerical. So in the third numerical, they are given that they are having a three-phase slip ring induction motor which is connected to a rated supply voltage. The EMF induced between the slip rings at standstill is 80 volt. So now they are mentioned over here, it is the EMF induced between the slip rings. That means it is a line value. So if I want to get the rotor induced EMF per phase, then E2 will be equal to, as they are talking about a slip ring induction motor, we know for a slip ring induction motor the rotor is always connected into star. So E2 will be equal to line value of the EMF, that is 80 upon root 3. So you may recall the relationship between line value of the voltage and phase value of the voltage for a star connected system. So rotor induced EMF per phase, that will be 80 upon root 3. So answer is 46.188 volts. Further, they have added its rotor resistance and standstill reactance per phase are 0.8 and 3.2 ohm respectively. So R2 is 0.8 ohm, X2 is 3.2 ohm. Find the rotor current and power factor at the time of starting when the slip rings are short circuited and when the slip rings are further connected to a star connected resistor of 2 ohm per phase. That means the external resistance which they are going to add per phase is given as 2 ohm. So please note down this much information. So I hope all of you have noted down the given information in your notebook. So let us try to see how we can get the value of rotor current and the rotor power factor at two different conditions. So in the first condition, they are saying that the slip rings are shorted. Okay, so we'll see one more method to solve this kind of numerical. Now the value of rotor resistance is given, rotor reactance is also given on per phase basis. So I can write down the rotor impedance per phase as R2 plus jX2. So it is 0.8 plus J3.2. So if I convert this expression into polar format, I am getting the answer as 3.298 at an angle of 17.5.96 ohm. And now we can make use of the concept that we have studied in AC circuit analysis. So I can directly write down the expression for my rotor current I2 bar as E2 bar upon Z2. So it will be (46.188) at an angle 0 divided by 3.298 at an angle 75.96. So if I solve this further, my answer will be 14 at an angle 75.96 amperes. Now what benefit we can get from this kind of expression? There is no need for me to calculate the rotor power factor again. If I just take cosine of this angle, I will directly get the power factor value. So rotor power factor, that is cos phi 2, is cosine of minus 75.96. So it is 0.242. So this negative sign which is associated with the power factor, it suggests that the motor is going to have a lagging power factor, and that is obvious as it is an induction motor. So inductive circuits, we know they operate at lagging power factor, and therefore even though here you are getting the positive value, as the sign associated with the angle is negative, so you have to say that it is a lagging power factor. So I am getting the rotor current as of 14 amperes and the operating power factor as 0.242 at or when the slip rings are shorted. Let's try to check whether we are getting similar values again. Okay. So after finishing this much portion from the numerical, let us try to proceed further. So in the second condition, they are saying that slip rings are connected to 2 ohm resistor per phase. That means I have to now add these 2 ohm in the original value of rotor circuit resistance, and then the new value of my rotor circuit impedance per phase will be the original rotor circuit resistance per phase, that is R2, plus this external resistance which they have added, which is 2 ohm per phase as per the given information, plus Jx2. So it will be 2.8 plus J3.2. I have to convert this expression into polar format. So I am getting the answer as 4.252 at an angle 48.81 degrees. Then I2 is, or I2 bar is E2 bar upon this new value of the rotor circuit impedance. So it will be 46.188 at an angle 0 divided by 4.252 at an angle 48.81. See, if I solve it, you will get the answer as 10.86 at an angle minus 48.81. Unit will be amperes. And then cos phi 2 will be cosine of minus 48.81, so which is coming out to be 0.658. So once again, as the associated sign with the power factor angle is negative, so this power factor is again going to be a lagging power factor. Okay, so please take your time and try to solve and try to check whether you are getting similar answers or not. If you are done with it, now then we can proceed with the next numerical. Okay, finished. Let us see the next numerical on somewhat similar concepts. So in the next numerical, I think it is fourth numerical that we are going to solve based upon this concept. So I will just read once again the text of the numerical and the given information. It is a 3-phase 400 volt 50 Hz 4-pole induction motor with star connected stator winding. So line value of the voltage, it is 400 volt. It is a 4-pole 50 Hz star connected induction motor. The rotor resistance and reactance per phase are 0.1 ohm and 1 ohm respectively. So R2 is 0.1 ohm per phase, X2 is 1 ohm per phase. The full load speed is 1440 rpm. So full load speed, that means it is the rotor speed, because from this much information we can calculate the synchronous speed. So full load rotor speed, as per the given information, it is 1440 rpm. Calculate the torque developed on full load by the motor, assuming stator to rotor turns ratio as 2:1. So one more information they have given: the ratio of stator turns to rotor turns, it is 2:1. So this much information they have given in the numerical. From these values I can calculate my synchronous speed as 1500 rpm. I need to calculate this value because I have to find out the value of slip at full load condition. So unless and until I know the value of synchronous speed, I cannot calculate the value of my slip. Okay, so please note down the given information. So in this numerical also they have not given the value of rotor induced EMF per phase directly. However, again by making use of the transformation ratio concept, I can write down the VPH, that is per phase voltage for the stator, divided by rotor induced EMF per phase, that is E2, as ratio of stator turns to rotor turns. So your stator is connected into star fashion, so per phase voltage will be 400 upon root 3 whole divided by E2. Ratio of stator turns to rotor turns they have given, which is 2, so it will be 2 upon 1. So this will give me the value of rotor induced EMF per phase as 115.47 volts. Then we can calculate slip at full load as Ns minus Nr upon Ns, which will come out to be 0.04 or 4%. While solving the numerical, please take care that you are considering the sleep in per unit. Don't consider the value of sleep in percentage basis. So sleep is coming out to be 0.04. And now we can calculate the torque developed by making use of the previously used equations, as TE is equal to 3 over 2 pi ns, that is rotating magnetic field speed in RPS, multiplied by S E2 square R2 upon R2 square plus S62 whole bracket square. Unit will be Newton meter. So let us try to substitute the values and try to get the answer. So it will be 3 over 2 pi ns. So speed in RPS will be 25, multiplied by value of slip is 0.04. Rotor induced EMF per phase is 115.47. Rotor resistance per phase is 0.1 divided by 0.1 square plus 0.04 into 1 whole bracket square. So if I substitute the values, I will get the answer as 87.81 Newton meter. Okay, so have you finished with this much portion of the numerical? Okay. So these are some type of the numericals which are normally asked or which have been already asked in previous semester question papers. So please try to download the question papers from either university website or from our college website and try to identify the numericals that we have solved till now. Okay, so for today's lecture, we'll stop at this particular point. Next time when we'll meet, we'll continue our discussion further with the expression for starting torque, maximum torque, full load torque, along with the interrelationship between any two torques. Thank you.